What's up YouTube, Card Boss here, back with another video where we talk cards, money investing, and the day has finally come. This is it, right? What I mean by that is Goldin Auctions ending in less than 48 hours, a whole bunch of Marvel PMGs. And why is this significant? It's been quite a while since we had this many Marvel PMGs and this kind of level of quality up on auction. People talk about the sharp climb in Marvel cards, in the last 1 year, and then the sharp decline as well. Most recently, the 2017 PMG red set that sold for only like $5,000 or something like that, and that's like a huge dump from the highs of $200 odd thousand. You're talking about like a 90 odd % decline. So a lot of factors has indicated that Marvel cards, specifically from the investment standpoint, and I'm referring to mainly the PMGs as well, has taken a huge hit. And we have talked about it a lot on this channel, whereby lots of investors has kind of left the space, go back to sports or to other kinds of investments. So don't get me wrong, Marvel cards are still nice looking cards, great collectible cards, good for character collecting. I enjoy collecting some Marvel cards as well. I do own a bunch of them as well, and I look beyond the price that I paid for some of them because I really enjoy some of the look and to own some of these nice pieces. But from an investment standpoint, it is quite a big scary ride, right, in terms of the pricing. And an auction that's going to end in less than 48 hours, we have a bunch of PMGs. I'm going to run through quickly and where these are at and where do you think that they will land, and how would this define what Marvel cards will look like in terms of an investment point of view. So let's have a quick look at a bunch of cards here. As you can see here, there's 64 PMGs. I have the search on Marvel PMGs. There's a mixed range here of 2013. We have a mix of the reds, the blues, the greens, and then we have 2015s, 2017s as well as, and a few 2022 in fact, Spider-Man metal. So I'm not going to talk much about the 2022 metal, but more focus on the OG stuff, the 2013s, the 2015s, and to some 2017s. There are some nice cards here, and we're starting out with the Captain America PMG green, which is a BGS Mint 9. This is as rare as it comes, as currently $8,000, 6 bits. At some point, perhaps, maybe if this was like 2 years ago, this is probably a $150,000 card. The PSA 8 PMG blue for the same Captain America. Now one sold for $70,000. It's insane. I sold mine for like 20K, I think, and maybe a bit less, and I was pretty happy with it. But it went as high as 70 odd K, and it's like this particular Captain America alone would have been 150 grand. Where would this land? We don't know, right? I probably should give some guesses on some of these. I'm probably going to be way off looking at how the market conditions are, because definitely I think whoever's going to pick up on this auctions here is definitely not for investment purposes. It's mainly to add on to their PCs, and that's all fine. I think where it stands right now is a lot of these nice looking pieces should end up where it belongs to, in the hands of the collectors, right? Moving on, we got a 2013 Spider-Man PMG Blue BGS 9 for $9,000 currently, 19 bits. Okay, and again on the high point, this was in excess of $100,000. So another huge card, right? So anything falling down, if you're talking about like Marvel cards being declined by 90%, this is not something that will decline by 90%. Top tier character, top tier grade, this is still gonna fetch a pretty nice dollar, but perhaps not to that kind of level. Moving on, we got Hulk blue here and a few others here. We got some PSA 8s. I think right now a lot of collectors are trying to like level up to nice looking grades, right? You're talking about a BGS 9, PSA 9. So there is still some love for PSA 8s. At one point when PMGs got really so expensive, a lot of quote unquote investors have come to the market to just grab whatever pieces that they can, which includes PSA 8s. Nothing wrong with that actually, but right now those are the grades, 8 and lesser are the ones that are struggling to get back your equity. BGS 9s, PSA 9s are still decent. They still command decent prices because of the mint quality, and a lot of collectors just like to have mint stuff in their collection. So we got a bunch of PSA 8s here, blues, 2013 Hulk, we got Miss Marvel, we got Emma Frost, Cyclops. Here's a PSA 9 Pop 1. This is interesting, $650. This won't stay at $650 for sure. Okay, And we have here as well Jean Grey, 0 bits, $500 at PSA 8.5. All these pieces here definitely will fit into somebody's collections here, whether you're building a set, or maybe just a PC. I know they're not the top tier characters as what we spoke about here, Spider-Man and Captain America, but these at reasonable prices should be nice pickups for anyone here. So that's why I said this auction will determine it all, right? Where we see the money has gone, right? We can, based on some of how these prices will fall, will tell you how much money have exited the system from the investment point of view, and where the market prices kind of will set in terms of the collectors. So what collectors are willing to pay for some of these pieces. Of course, I will be very surprised if some of these ended up without a bid. $500 for a PSA 7 low-key PMG blue. It may be high if you talk about compared to pre-2019. Buy some of these, you perhaps could buy for like $100, $150, but still, given whatever has happened in the last couple of years, $500 is still reasonable for PMG blue, even if it's a PSA 7. So I don't think any of these will end without a grade. Moving on, we have the greens, the good stuff. That's number to 10. You can see here, even though they are PSA 8s, they are still highly desirable, highly collectible, and it probably looks as though like somebody decided to break up a set. Right? If you look at this here, and if you're an investor and you're trying to cash out at this point in time, that's not the right way to do it. But if you need for the money, rather than sitting on some piece of cards that you have no more love for, it's better just to share it out back to people who would enjoy them. So this is the time to pick up these kind of stuff if you want to add them to the PC. And there's again lots of nice stuff here, despite PSA 8, Storm, Invisible Movements, Psylocke, She-Hulk, right? Lesser known characters here, Luke Cage, Red Skull, and a couple others, Iron Fist, right? Ghost Rider is always nice. BGS 9005. This won't stay at 1005, that's for sure. Doctor Doom, one and only appearance in PMG, 2300. This is gonna fetch, I would say, north of perhaps $4,000 or $5,000, maybe more. The most recent sale on eBay, Phoenix PMG Green PSA 8. Close for about $3,200. So I think that's going to be a benchmark of some of these, where these pieces will land. So I would use that as a reference guide in order to position yourself to put some of these bids. Now again, when it comes to buying for collection, right, investors usually will look at price points, right, where comps are and stuff like that, whereas collectors is more emotional attached. So if you're a huge Psylocke collector, you're gonna pay whatever that you want, that you can afford to add this piece to your collection. There's reference point, last Psylocke, if let's say, if for example, you sold for $2,500, $3,500 previously, it doesn't matter. If you're willing to pay $5,000, it's gonna end at $5,000. It's not gonna reflect anything. Whatever other cards will reflect the PMG as a whole, it's just that you're willing to pay $5,000 for this card because you simply love it. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this auction stands. I know that some of the favorite characters like Psylocke, for example, is going to end pretty high. Lots and lots of Psylocke collectors as compared to Luke Cage, for example. Okay, so moving on, nice one, Scarlet Witch, BGS 9, She-Hulk, BGS 9, all these Cyclops again, BGS 9, all these nice looking pieces, nice grades as well. So huge Rogue BGS 9, Emma Frost BGS 9, right? Look at Human Torch BGS 9, all these good stuff, right? Anytime again, like keep on referencing back for about a year and a half, 2 years ago, this would have been easily 10, 15 grand at this kind of grade, right? So where is this gonna land? I don't know, right? So again, I'm referencing back to the Phoenix that closed at 3,200 for PSA 8. So fair to say, if this was to close on average, I would say around between the $3,000 to $5,000 range for the regular characters. Don't count the big ones like a Psylocke or a Scarlet Witch. I think it's gonna be pretty okay. Decent collector gonna pick it up. I know there's one or two big whales that may be interested, but there's only so much you can own, right? The hobby is meant to be shared with as many collectors as possible. It's no point having one or two persons to hoard all the PMGs there is. There is just no benefit to that from a collector's standpoint. So moving on, now we move to the reds, the lesser reds. That's our number 100. We got two Hulks here, PSA 8s. Daredevil, we got a nice Deadpool here, PSA 8. Now I'd love to get a PSA 9 for my PC, but this is just a PSA 8. And then we've got a couple of this. This is 2015 now. Deadpool, PSA 8 pop to 2100. This is something I'll probably keep my eye on as well. I got this on my watch list right here. So definitely something that I would like to look at. And moving on, 2017. This is on PSA 8 and BGS 8, right? So it was Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales at some point. This was about like maybe $4,000 card. Spider-Gwen perhaps was about like 1,500, 2,500 kind of card as well. So a few more others. Gwen 8, pretty nice here as well. And moving on, 2017, and we move on to the last two pieces, which is 2022. So lots and lots of nice PMGs here, 64 in total, right? So I will pay attention to the big ones here. Definitely, this is the auction that's going to define where Marvel card investing is resting right now. Okay, to me, in my opinion, I think the wave has kind of shifted out from Marvel cards in terms of an investment standpoint. It is a collector's market at the moment, and I know that collectors are ready to shell out a lot of money. I would say decent amount of money for these rare pieces that has kind of been on the vault. Some of these collectors have picked it up, trying to like speculate to flip it for tens of thousands, and I don't think that has happened. But definitely, whoever's interested to pick up some of these pieces at this point in time, whatever price you pay, right, you're not going to be seen as overpaying, underpaying. This is the time where collectors are going to come out and procure the pieces that they want for the PC. So it'll be interesting, even from a spectator point of view, to see where some of these pieces end up, and I'll be definitely interested to try to aim for some of these pieces as well. Alright, so looking forward to catch up with you guys again to talk about Marvel cards. It's been a while since I actually talked about Marvel cards, because I have actually exited Marvel card investing to focus more on sports. But I'm always on the lookout to buy a couple of nice pieces to add to my PC. Always looking for a Spider-Gwen and a couple of 2013 PMG Blues as well. So what that means is I do have my eye on this guy here, but it's gonna be pretty expensive, right? $10,000 currently, maybe 20, maybe 25. I don't know, but it's gonna be a lot of money. Something to put my head together. All right, that's all I got for today. Do like and subscribe, follow my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next one. Cowboys out.